Thank you. We do have a quorum. Emily is an excused absence. Does anybody have anything to add to the unfinished business? Or I mean, add to other business? No. Okay, then, I'll put the consent agenda of the motion.
I move that we accept this consent agenda.
I second that.
Okay, a motion,
I'm listening.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Twice just.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, great. Let's see, my report. The budget's been all consuming, so, yeah, that's what I've been working with. Been reviewing previous years, with Rachel and cleaning up some bars numbers and making sure things are accounted for in the right spots. So that moving forward, it looks better. I reviewed the last 3 decades of investment records and realized that they've not been getting done right for
Ever.
about 3 decades. So we'll have an idea what it will take to fix that long term. Short term is, I think we can, it wasn't an issue for all the years where there was no interest to be earned. But we're earning interest again now, so there was a period before that where interest was misapplied to the wrong fund, and now we're again have interest being applied to the wrong funds, so. Probably another day worth of working on that, and I'll have an idea of what fund owns what at this point. We used to get a printout monthly from our investment from the Washington. The LGIP is what it's called, and that told us what all of the funds were applying, to the bottom line. And the first month that the Vision software happened in 2012, that stopped getting included. And so that was really the only thing that told us what our percentage of ownership was, not the fictitious numbers we were calculating interest on. So I have all of the deposits, withdrawals, and interest from 2012 to now to try to figure out who owns what. So that'll be done shortly. Let's see, we are also working on the 2023 budget amendment. Nothing really spectacular happening there, just some business work that needs to get done to have our budget come in more reasonable. Let's see, we have a lot of meetings coming up. We got behind on a couple of things that require notification in the paper, followed by waiting periods, followed by 2 meetings, and it just wasn't going to happen in the 3 meetings we have left this year. So if you all really enjoy seeing us a lot, we'll be here tomorrow at 6 o'clock for a public hearing on the ad valorem, which is the property tax. Council's chosen this year to not increase the property taxes, so we're not taking the 1% that we could take. And then next Monday, we have a public hearing on the budget to talk about revenue sources. I think we'll be talking about water sewer rates there as well, and also talking about the fee structure. There's a couple changes I'd like to make to that. We're going to see if council wants to do that as far as some of the smaller items for various fees in the city. And then Monday the 4th, we're going to have a public hearing on the final budget, which is called Fixing the Budget, and we'll get to swear in our new mayor pro tem, which is fantastic.
New mayor.
That's it.
Period.
The mayor.
Mayor
I'm sorry.
elect.
The mayor. What's the word?
Mayor elect.
Mayor elect. Thank you. Sorry. And I can't wait for that.
Aren't we coming Wednesday? Also,
Yes, second reading is this Wednesday.
okay.
Oh.
The public hearing is.
Second
The
reading.
public is welcome.
Oh yeah, the South public is welcome, but we have to read.
It's the second reading.
Is that the second reading of?
Okay,
7/9.
And the reason that's happening in such a crazy time frame is that it has to be in by the 30th of November. So that's why we're sticking 2 meetings in this report. So let's see, and then we're working on reviews. Sherry and I will do the reviews before the 4th of December happens. We'll do them together, kind of give us a transition. And also had a good conversation with Sherry after the last budget workshop. I think her and I will be kind of moving towards handing things off here over the next 2 weeks. Haven't done a lot with we have these poplar trees that on the 450 cedar that we would like to help out with. I think we're going to be able to do that. We have a gifting of funds issue, but it sounds like we can work on being able to do that as a public service. Be able to pay a portion of it. And actually, yeah, the thing I'm really happy about is, and I'm gonna let Steve talk about what's happening, but the 12th Plex that we had the public hearing on is gone. So the public hearing served its purpose. We didn't have to hold a public hearing, we did, because I thought that the residents needed an opportunity to talk, to express their feelings, and the developer heard that, and after some conversation with the developer, he's doing something different there, which is fantastic. And that is just my status. Public Works.
Hello, everybody. So we pulled the mixer motor out of the ditch and replaced the hub where all the fins are, where all the new motor, I cannot buy it without the hub and the legs. So it's gonna be a little spendy. I'm still waiting for the final numbers on that before I bring it to everybody, but the life expectancy of those are 8 to 10 years. The plant was put on in 2015. One's already failed. I don't know if I would like to run without a backup. It's a very important part. If both go down, we're gonna be in trouble. So we are probably gonna have to purchase the other one. It's at least 20 plus. So that's kind of not good news. I was trying to get it without the hub, so I could put the hub on that we had, but they don't want to sell them separately. They come in a unit, so that was that. I started getting some extra stuff in case we have long-term power outages. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're paying any attention, but I know PCLI got hacked and their computers all went down. Things are kind of crazy right now, so I went through the generator for well number 2 and made sure it was all operational. And got that all done, and just in case we needed that too. I know we have a generator on well 1, so try to get everything all in case. So that's kind of what's going on there. We are getting ready to do the tree and put up some lights on the tree. I'd like to thank Joe Notch for the lights that he purchased about 2 or 3 years ago. They're outdated now. They kind of failed last year a little bit in the windstorm. So we're getting new lights. I made a ring with a treetop access thing, so we can put a treetop on it also. The man lift is coming next Monday. And so if you have other things, flagpole or whatever else
We're
going on.
gonna put a new rope on the flagpole and fly a flag again,
So when that gets here, we'll do the tree, we'll get everything all figured out on that, and that's basically what I have. Oh, one more thing, I did get a hold of PUD on the 420 Pine.
Okay.
For the lights. I'm waiting for their engineer to get back
Okay,
to me, so the engineer is coming.
thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a second though. It seems like it's gonna have to go through a bunch of rigmarole, so. Have to be through engineering, there's already a pole there. But they still have to do that. I think that they may have to change our, because we pay PUD. So it'll go through the office anyway, so.
Great. Thanks for that. Much needed. Thank you.
didn't get mine printed out. So same thing with Eric, just a lot of budget stuff, going through old stuff. We got a $500 loss prevention grant that Emily got for going to, I think, that luncheon. Taking classes with the Department of Revenue to make sure I'm up to date with reporting requirements. All the rates on everything are changing, so L&I, everything's changing. I also went to an L&I workshop with Mike. And so I've been working more on the procurement policy and our small works roster. That's kind of it. Working with KR Homes, getting his permits done. But yeah, that's it.
And Dwayne, you're giving, thank you.
Mhm.
Dwayne, you're giving the big status monthly. Is there anything you want to cover at the up here?
Well, just, first of all, thank everybody for the new portables we have. We just got those in and they're programmed already for Lewis County, so I can actually click my mic and talk to somebody when I'm out running around. Instead of just listening to it and running to my car to talk to somebody. When I brought those portables in, they said, cool, we didn't even know these even still existed. So thank you for that. Let's see, the other thing, working with Mike on getting a light put right over a area on Pine Street. I think everybody knows what we're talking about. Literally, it's gonna sit right above the house, and that dark spot that's right there is gonna be completely lit up. So if we have to, go through some other avenues to put some pressure on, let me know, and we'll make that happen. Talk to Sheriff Rob and whoever else we need to talk to get that done.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem, it's at the time, it's gonna take a minute to get everything figured out.
Sure, okay. And then probably the next biggest ticket item that I'm working on is the evidence room. Again, has not been looked at, I guess, in a long time. So we're now in charge of our own evidence, our department is, so we have to make sure that it's completely up and running according to the standards by Washington state law. And I think we made some pretty good progress today with everything that we're able to research with Rachel and I together. We have a pretty good handle on it, and if that gets approved, then the evidence room will be back up to par here pretty quick. And that's a key thing. So that's about it. Yeah, any questions?
How do you maintain chain of control on the evidence room?
What's that?
How do you maintain chain of control on the evidence room?
So we have an entire new set of lockers on that will be ordered, and then we have a lockbox with one master key. So it's all right in accordance with all the guidelines. So.
Very good.
Yep. Must be former law enforcement.
Thanks, chief. And then you've got you've got also, it looks like your guard barrier things are.
Yeah, the patrol shields, we're working on those. There's one set that I really like, but it's way too expensive. It's really spendy. But the next one in line, I think we're looking at is gonna be pretty good as well, and that's something more in our budget ballpark. And we need that for the new revised use of force guidelines. So we have those ready to be ordered. So
Excellent.
we're moving forward pretty quick. So getting back up to par. Any other questions?
Never got it.
No, that's
What?
it. That's it. Thank you. No, what's the cost on that? No, so is that?
It's in the budget.
Yeah, so we pulled together 3 quotes, but it's not ready to make it to council yet. You could add that.
It is.
Yeah, got him.
That's why we worked on it all day today.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, so we'll add those to other business then. Great.
We print it out.
Yeah, it's in there. I'll go grab it.
What are those called?
Evidence lockers.
Oh, the evidence, I'm sorry, I was thinking the shields. Okay, Rebecca.
Yeah.
So I went to the Veterans Day service at Camp Wilson Park on the 11th, and there was a large turnout compared to the last few years. I was happy to see that. They did a nice job with the tents and everything else, and really appreciated Dwayne's attendance there. I think I heard that you had been in Eastern Washington, came over here for that, and then went back again, same day. A lot of driving. But
Actually drove in early, I was over there, and then got up early and drove all the way here for the RV thing, yeah.
yeah. And you put on an excellent presentation yourself.
Oh, thank
I really appreciated that too. And then I made about 2.5 gallons of onion soup to pass out to Toledo neighbors because they are loaded with onions. And I thought if I made some soup and passed it out, people would, and it worked. There were several people that took the recipe and went back and got a whole bunch of onions. So and it was cold, so I think they enjoyed the hot soup too. And that was a lot of fun. I attended sat in on the park board meeting on the 14th at request of a park board member since Emily was out. And that was interesting. They talked about rates for the larger RV, maybe raising the rates a little bit for the larger RV sites. They're bringing Toledo Hotel together to talk about Wi-Fi in the park and some other business that they need to talk about. And I believe her name is Joe that does the grants. Joe was there and had a lot of information, said we did not receive an RCO grant. Sounds like mostly because of that census where it makes Toledo look richer than we are. But anyway, but there are some other grants she's still working on, and if we added 6 more camping sites to the park, we would qualify or meet criteria to be able to get the state to put a sign out on the freeway saying there's a park over here to come to.
That's
So-
going to include tent camping?
Yeah, so they're looking into that. I think they're gonna get together and look at the park, because there is plenty of land and you could, I mean, tent sites wouldn't be hard, I would think, to put in.
It's just parking.
And she had some information on new playground equipment and ground cover too, so. It was a very fruitful meeting to attend, and that's it, other than daily life.
Excellent. Thank you, Rebecca. How about Kathy?
Did a lot of. With Mr. Hill. A lot of running around checking. Checking a lot of properties, especially the Canoodle with the. Not the Crowded Kitchen, the Barbecue Bonanza, the strip that came up under review where the building actually sits. Outside its boundary line currently. There's some odd things around here, and it helps to just drive around and look at the issues that have come up and actually put your eyes on the property and the neighbors. And that's all I've done towards city council.
Thank you, Kathy. Jamie.
I've done nothing. But I would like to congratulate Rebecca and Kathy for their landslide election.
She got more votes than I did, though.
Yeah. And our mayor-elect Sherry. And that's about it.
Thank you, Jamie. And you.
And you're stuck with
Yes.
me for another 4 years.
Excellent.
I know.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, committee reports, planning commission. Steve, do you wanna come up and you stand right behind Rex so you can be on the camera?
There you go. Okay. Several items. First of all, as you all know from driving to town. The state came out a few weeks ago and removed the bases for those signs that were pedestrian crossing signs. And we raised issue with their removal. At the time, the gentleman out there doing the removal said that since there weren't signs there, they couldn't leave them in place because it was gonna be snowplow season and they couldn't see them. And they didn't want those little bases flicking off into somebody's window and causing an injury or property damage. So we wrote to the new person who apparently is our liaison with the state, Leanne. And expressed our concerns with regards to the state's response to the broken signs, which we were repeatedly assured were in the shop being repaired and would be replaced ASAP. That didn't happen, and the response we got was, well, we did a lot of other things out there, you know, we put more speed limit signs in and we striped wider stripes and put dots at 3rd Street, so we kind of want to monitor that situation and see how that goes. And I've been preparing my wordy response to that, which probably I need to have read about 3 times for me before I send out. So that I don't embarrass myself. Anyway, so that is ongoing. The situation with K&R Homes, I'm somewhat surprised to hear that you're going through building permits at this point. Since it was established, they need to do a lot line adjustment and
We're just
They're
gathering.
coming.
they're coming.
We're gathering stuff.
Or gathering,
Yeah.
okay, so that more explanatory then. That is going to consist of 7 single-family homes. And they're actually quite nice looking homes. So considering what could have been done on that lot because of the size of the lot, he could come in and put in a 25-unit apartment house with underground parking. I thought the public hearing did its job, and I think the mayor was perfectly correct in his believing that a public hearing might have some sway, and it did. So thank you for that. What else is there? I will be missing for the next 2 planning commission meetings. I'll be out of state both times.
Did you get that approved?
I approved it.
You. Well done.
Did you approve it, honey? But I will, if somebody sends me information, I'll soon call in. There was one other issue, it always escapes me.
Shouldn't there be a motion that you?
I think that's all I've got.
Okay. Thank you, Stevie. That's what you do for us. Park board, wants to do it. Somebody here to talk on the park board.
Well, it's good.
I need, so I'm going over here.
Oh, okay. Anybody have a park board? No?
Oh, they just got it. Sorry.
Then I can only be here 3 meetings.
No. Do we have public comment on the agenda items while we're waiting? Nobody? Okay. This next item, actually, I can continue, that's fine. The next thing is just an informational, the 2024 preliminary budget is available on request from City Hall. It will be published on the website soon, shortly. So if you don't want to kill the trees, you can see, you'll be able to see it there.
You were in here playing those. Almost there.
Right.
I remember what it was.
Okay, great.
Okay. The planning commission is currently putting together a resolution for city council that will be
Tonight's agenda.
preparing for them for the establishment of rules regarding Airbnb or Vrbo in the city limit. There is currently one Airbnb unit in the city. And I believe with the state's latest land use change that allows for ADUs in all lots, as long as they maintain the building standards set by the city, that we may see a number of ADUs come in, or people that want to share their homes for short-term guests. And so Brian Dennis is going to put together a resolution essentially on what the parameters would be. I think obviously we would require them to have a building permit, a business license. There would be an occupancy tax associated with that. But there are a number of other rules and regulations that a number of cities have adopted that Brian's going to go through and try to cull, so that we have something to present to council that they can read.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so let's see, next item is Buzzard or Work Services Agreement renewal.
I don't know.
Did you do the preliminary budget? Just announcing it?
Yeah, I know, why you would have. Yeah, I said that it was available upon request and it will be up on the website at some point here shortly. So we have a new contract from Buzzard or Work. What I did not have the opportunity to do is compare it to the old one.
That was gonna be my question.
So it looks like we have till the end of the year on this one. So I recommend we.
For the next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, you could send that out. I think it's a little of the opportunity to compare the two.
Yeah, because I noticed it takes effect immediately.
Oh, I thought it took effect as of the 1st of January.
Well, I think that immediately once we agree that we like it, maybe. Or whatever the- That's what it's worth. That's 104.
Well, yeah, it's on the first half of the legal services agreement. Therefore, the parties here to agree as follows. Appointment and effective date, the city does hereby appoint as city attorney. Agreement shall be effective upon acceptance by the city. Which is pretty immediate if we accept.
I'll pull the whole contract and have it for you guys.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna push on that one.
So we'd like to accept it on December 31st, right?
Set another
I
special.
know, it depends after I compare the two. Okay, new business, next new business item is resolution 274A. Update to building permit review criteria. I'll accept that. Chat on.
I'll move that we accept the resolution number 274A.
Okay, we have a motion.
Yes, second.
I'll second it. I'm not there, but I'll second it.
Okay. So planning commission is basically telling us that buildings or that permits that fall into the just kind of normal, so doesn't trigger SEPA, doesn't, so and all the things that trigger SEPA. So if somebody's wanting to build and it's on a crazy slope or in a water setback, that would still go before planning commission or any other thing that triggers SEPA. It looks like commercial buildings under 5,000 square feet and multi-family under 5 units are also exempted from having to go through planning commission. What we're trying to do is let the easy stuff not have to go through planning commission, and only like the 12-plex would have still had to gone through. So that's what we're really trying to protect.
So they still have to come in and somebody looks at what they're asking for. And
Yes,
Might I speak to that?
yes, had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, we have now in place a building inspector and a plan checker on under contract. And previously, we did not have anyone like that, and so it seemed at that time it was proper to have somebody with some construction experience get an eye on what people were figuring they were gonna do. But since we now have in-house, planning staff with Todd Johnson, and we have an inspector and a plan checker, the normal run-of-the-mill building permit for a single home or for less than 5 units. Anything that doesn't trigger SEPA did not really.
It goes through those guys,
necessarily-
they take a look at it to make sure everything is up to.
Right,
code.
they'll still be looking at that, so there'll still be plan check, there'll still be criteria for our land use codes and setbacks and things like that. It's just, we won't have to take that time consuming of waiting for the next planning commission. meeting to get going.
So somebody with knowledge is going to handle that. Heck,
And they only meet monthly, so that would have been.
Yeah.
Any other conversation on this? No, okay, just want to call the vote, all in favor
I,
and opposed? Okay, passes. Oh, look, it's a short night, that's fantastic.
no, we're done.
Okay, so we have evidence locker.
Yep.
That's our other business. Oh, we have no unfinished business, so we're moving on to other business.
Yep.
Let me-
There's one. There's one. Sorry guys, I just kind of threw them together. So this is the one that he's wanting. The one that's 1,100 is the one that we're wanting, and I think we're getting some other supplies from them, so we'll probably save on shipping and all that too. There's some other lockers. There's not a lot in that price range. They're either really small and super cheap, or they're really big and like $4,000 or $5,000.
What's the one in here?
No, this is the one that he wants right here.
Oh, right.
And
right.
it's too
Okay.
excited, and I think, yeah,
The one at 11:40.
Okay,
Oh, it's 2:30.
really?
yeah, I didn't
This-
decided, because I just ran in there and copied them real quick, so I apologize.
So the second page that says 42,1199, that's for this.
That's for that big one right there,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's for the big one, okay.
Yeah.
But these are-
So this one right here is the one that we're looking at.
And it's 1,100.
Yes, ma'am, 1140.
And it's big enough for what you need.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, yeah, so it's a 1 unit comprised of 6 different lockers.
Hmm.
So if I have like an evidence item that I need to put in there, I would walk in, access through 1 key into the evidence locker, I'd go into the evidence room. I would put my evidence item in that 1 locker, there's a key associated with it, that key is taken out, dropped into the evidence locker, so nobody can get in there. Then I'd walk out, go back and secure the main key back up into an additional lockbox, which covers the 2-prong system that you're talking about. That way, nobody can ever come in there and say that we tampering with evidence and that type of thing. So yeah, it fits perfectly for what I think we need here at Toledo. And then also, the additional items are just basic items that you would need, like paper bags, evidence bags. I'm trying not to laugh, evidence tape, cardboard boxes for rifles and guns and knives and stuff like that, DNA stickers, evidence labels, that type of thing.
And how long do you have to keep evidence?
Well, it'll depend on the court case.
So-
Yeah, so if you go.
So I
quite a-
guess that would be my only concern, that, I mean, that's 6 cases, 6 lockers.
Well, no, it doesn't stay in there forever. It'll be taken out of there and put into a different area later on, a secure area, so it doesn't just stay in there.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't thought of that, so.
I'm not familiar with your job, so.
Right. Right, so there's other places in the evidence room that it can be put into later, so.
And
it looks
there's,
like, go ahead.
And they're secure too? Does it have?
Mhm,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it will be getting bolted down or something like that.
I was just gonna have it outside here, but.
Okay.
By the red apple.
I'm assuming that I already talked to Mike, he's just gonna put a light on it. Great.
I have a shop and for a fee.
Yeah, shop for feet. No, but it'll work with what we need to do and you know, I've been here for a year. And we haven't had a whole lot of things that have happened, so this will be more, what I'm proposing here would be more than enough to handle quite a few cases if they came up.
That looks like the expensive one gives you a variety of sizes. Is
Yes.
Is that, not what you need then? I mean, it is $4,200, it's pretty expensive, but so this. Like these uniform size ones are. Okay, it'll be fine. He does have a budget for this, so it does fit on his budget.
And the other items, like I said, I don't know if they. Did you?
We don't need to pass those because those are all under.
Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
you're good. You clear on those
That-
already.
Yep, just this is the main thing right here.
You need a motion that we, buy the evidence lockers for our police department? That work?
I'll second it.
The $100 one.
The $100 one?
Mhm.
Oh, so now I, for the first time, see this $2,300 one that's got more lockers, including some sizes.
Well, that's why I was asking. But it sounds like he doesn't wanna. break
Well, I
the-
mean, I was going with that one, but I mean,
Sometimes right is more important than cheap. I know I tell myself that all the
it's
time.
not
Is it- isn't the $1,100 one is just 6 drawers or 6?
it's six, yeah, but the other one is a bigger one. for-
Yeah, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, if you guys wanna
So
approve
still
a
got
budget.
6 and then
That's
2
the
larger, 2
23.
longer.
Yeah, if you guys wanna approve an amount that he can spend, then we can dig into it a little more tomorrow and you can see if you'd rather have the.
This budget line item
Because-
has $3,000 on it.
And
Yeah,
that,
I think you
that
should-
would handle the rifles,
Yeah, it looks like, it would have-
right, and the same.
Yeah. So like you were saying, I mean, again, he still has the 6.
Yeah,
units
you would be
and 2
stuck if
larger
something
ones
happened
up
and you
on top
had a
of
rifle
that.
that you had to. That you had to. Put in an evidence locker. Right, that's, looks like this other one, that 2,300 would. Accomplish that.
Yeah, if we can go with that one, that'd be great. I'm just.
So
So-
amend your motion.
So, yeah, so amend my motion that we accept. To spend money on an evidence locker as needed. Up to 2,500.
Perfect.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Thank you.
Further conversation? Nope. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Great.
Do we get to pick the color?
No, it's, what did you say?
The code.
The color.
The color.
Color, yeah.
Public input. Any topic,
To you.
go ahead.
So the grant that I was going after for shade for the farmer's market is not going to be suitable. It had a minimum $10,000 award on it, no matter how I dressed it up, it doesn't cost $10,000 to take off. So, we're gonna have to get a little bit more creative. We were actually talking about moving the market over to the park, but because of the location of the park, it would destroy any tourist traffic, so it looks like we're gonna be where we are for the foreseeable future, so I'm gonna have to go back and start digging. Once the city happens to find a windfall and decide to cover that area with something permanent, it looks like we're gonna have to be trying to figure out how to boost the £100 a market per market twice. To put up support structures or see if we can figure out how to attach something to one of the buildings. Pretty much no idea is off the table at this point. We're gonna have to put some thought into it and see what we can do. But fortunately, we're not outside until the end of May, so I've got time to figure it out.
Maybe your grant could buy a small storage unit, if you could, or a small, that you could put stuff in.
Well, we have the trailer, but it's pretty full of everything, but I am actually taking a grant writing course. And I'm gonna start aggressively looking for it. The other thing is if I find a shed, which would be awesome, where do I put it? Maybe we can talk about somewhere on city property out here later, but I got a lot of things to sort
Excellent, yeah.
through before we get to that point. But the market continues to add people and stuff, and we are gonna need a place to put it all at some point.
That's a good idea, actually. Something to-
And I did want to follow up with a question with regard, or something the council might consider. Is whether if money was available to install weatherproof removable bollards. So that you could actually drill into the asphalt, place a sleeve in there that's covered up so that the water can't infiltrate. and diminish the pavement. But it would be used for inserting holes into sleeves that were permanent rather than trying to roll out, 10 or 15 gallon buckets of concrete that you're trying to do. So it would make it a lot easier.
There was talk on that
Mhm.
last year or the year
Yeah.
before. And what were you wanting, so your ask was?
Well, those originally last year, we were talking about parking bollards, and those are actually, you can get those installed that are removable so that you can place them on the day of market. And you can get them made of plastic so that they don't weigh a ton. Their function is merely to shut off traffic. But you can also get them that will hold a steel pole and hold it in place so that when you're trying to, let's say, line a couple of cables and run shade cloth across an area, you'd have 4 holes in the ground that you put holes into. And that would be all in the parking lot.
I'd say I'd say write up a proposal and bring it forward.
I'll come up with some numbers, thank you.
We'd love to support the Thursday market.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're finding that when it is, July and August, especially with a lot of our older customers, they can't be out on that pavement for very long.
Yeah.
If the whole idea is to make the market a place where people can stay and enjoy themselves, having it be 140 degrees while you're standing around is kind of the opposite of what we're shooting for.
For sure.
So, okay, appreciate it, thank you.
And I have no idea what it would take to be able to drop a short container or something on the gravel somewhere. If you wanted to create storage, we'd have to look into that.
And that, were there, the outdoor location, is that owned by Jimmy's?
That's not what it says.
No, that's
The city owns the parking lot alongside Jimmy's.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's part of the boat ramp, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, of course. Okay.
but we also have all the gravel land behind us that could potentially.
Food Bank used to have a K line, or the Napa did,
Yeah,
back there already once, it's gone now, but.
yeah, I mean, that'd spend $10,000 pretty quick if you did that and all the stuff to put in it to use. If you're looking for that grant.
Yeah, the problem with that
Oh.
particular grant is the things that you purchase. I can't have them, well, some of it's over here and some of it's over here, the way it's largely written for farm kind of thing. So I was somewhat narrow in my scope of what I could do with that money. But there's more than one way to skin that cat.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Joe?
I understood there was interviews for another police officer this week, is that true?
There was.
Is there enough bid for that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we had a hiring board come in and we had brought the people in that made the commitment for the interview. And ran them through the scenario based questions, and the board rated them, and there'll be letters going out within the next 2 weeks. Where they rated at, so.
And we're having another person we're trying to bring in that we would like to, but just haven't succeeded in getting.
Right. Mhm. Yep, so I think we had 4 scheduled, is that right?
3,
4.
3,
3?
Well, 3 of the ones that we.
the mix up with the names,
Yeah,
the Tyrell.
Yeah, so two didn't make it, so it ended up being 2. So. We made some progress, but we continue to look for that right person. That's why I wanted him to come in, and the interview board did great. The superintendent for the school was here. Jacqueline from the fire department was here, and then Steve was here. And they did a really good job on the interview questions. So.
Don?
Yeah, I don't wanna really beat a dead horse, but. Officer Lawrence was talking about that. It'd be really nice to be able to have a police officer at night. They can park in front of my house all night long. That way I can sleep all night. But down there at 420 Pine, they're just creating all kinds of ruckus in the middle of the night. And they're running their cars all over the place. And it's just, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm getting nervous. I don't even want to really go outside at night too much. And my wife goes out and she sits in the carport sometimes 2, 3 in the morning because she can't sleep. And I just worry about her being there, because that's when they operate, that's when they start running around, and. You know, I mean, hear them cussing down there and throwing metal at each other, and, you know, I mean, out in the middle of the road, and, you know, it's just, it's. Lady, I've been helping feed horses, during the day, and this lady that lives right next to him. Said she has to have her daughter, 8-year-old daughter, wear earplugs because she can't sleep at night because it goes on all night long. And I don't hear it that much, only when they start yelling and screaming at each other, which is usually about 11, 12 at night, and then. It's just getting to the point where I'm getting a little bit nervous. And, you know, I was in the military, I've seen it all, but it's getting worse. It's starting to get worse, and I don't know what to do with it. You know, I've got a lot of pictures of the animals running around out in front of our yard or in our backyard, or, and then the guys are driving their cars around their neighborhood just loud, and, I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm not gonna move, I don't wanna move, I've been here for 9 years, I love this town. But there's something going on that's shouldn't be, and then more trash is coming into their property. And then during the day, they have one truck that's so full, I don't even know how they drive it, it's like the grapes of wrath out there. And that's parked up there to park and ride all day, and then they bring it in at night and park it in front of their place, so. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think we need another police officer,
Yeah, we do.
I really do.
Badly.
I mean, you know, Officer Lawrence, I mean, he can't be everywhere all the time, and then if we call it in. If you call in 911, I called in 911 one time, because I thought I heard gunshots in the house, you know, over there, they were yelling, screaming at each other, and so I called. And it took an hour for somebody to drive by, you know, and I think that's just kind of unacceptable. You know, so I'd be willing to pay more. I mean, I'm serious, I'd pay more for a police officer for sure.
We've increased the budget to a pretty substantial number for a lateral officer. And that said, all you have to do is go online and look, and there are cities offering crazy numbers and massive signing bonuses, and they're still looking. So it's pretty tough to find somebody.
All the agencies are having trouble filling their positions.
You all know the area, you all know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
It's I just wanted to mention one other thing. I want to thank you, Eric and Rachel, for helping my wife and I with our little water issue. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. And I met Eric up there, and he says, don't worry about it, you know, we'll take it. And I'm sitting there, I can't sleep all night because I get this, you know, the bill. And so Rachel was so nice to call us and, you know, help us out, and we got the meter fixed. And I just want to tell you guys, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So expeditious.
Darn technology. Oh, what I told you that evening was that one way or another, we're not looking for the residents to pay for.
Yeah, I was
$800,000.
payment plan.
It's either a league that that we do forgive, that our policies, or it's a
issue.
technical issue, and it turns out the sending unit was going crazy. Something like that.
Well, I
Technology.
wanted to come up here and just, you know, listen in, and if I can contribute anything myself, I'd be glad to do it. I'm retired, so, you know, if I can help anyway, I'd be glad to, so.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Anybody else? No? Okay. Y'all have a good evening.
Okay, so I guess we have to do the.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
The Huskies are still undefeated.
Can we move the position?
Yeah.
All in favor? I think
Aye.
Quite said this. This is a we are. This works pretty.
I'm glad it's found a home that's.
Yeah.
So it can be allowed.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think you're right, it's fine.
Yeah, no, but we did two.
Yeah, Kathy said it.
And then we-
Oh, it's that time.
Yeah. We did that.
How many open up?
Good night, Ron.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah, yeah.
we're missing two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I know, gotta get about 5 extra. Next copy.
Well done, Eric. Kept us
kept us.
Oh, it happens.
Hey.
Every night.